Home insurance. This is, maybe let's highlight this part. This is owners or home owners. It could be home. I will actually make a note, right? You could own a home or a condo, right? Like you could own it. It's still like if you have a condo, then you need homeowners owners insurance, okay? Not just tenant insurance. The formula is the exact same, guys. Just full disclosure, exact same formula for both tenant and home insurance. That's why I made it. Took me a little while. Just it's like a couple of like semesters in the making. But now you're gonna grab your pink tables. I just need to show you this before we dive in. It looks scary, but I will explain why it looks scarier. Okay. Look at where my pencil is. Look up on the screen, and I will show you why it's scary. Because homeowners insurance breaks it matters where you live. Okay, because you could be in Metro Winnipeg. Metro Winnipeg is the exact same thing. So there's a certain rate for living in Winnipeg, and then these areas are outside of Winnipeg. If you live, for example, outside the perimeter, there's a lot of municipalities that don't have a full-time firefighter hall, a fire hall. They don't have that. They have volunteer firefighters. Which means that if your house catches fire and you call 911, these people that are volunteers, they have their regular jobs. They need to leave their jobs, drive to the fire hall, hop on the truck, then go to the fire. Most of the time I have friends that are in that. Most of the time your house is completely burned. Like they just come in to control the fire. It's not to save your house anymore. If you're in the city, my brother-in-law's wife. Okay, it's a bit of a longer story. My brother-in-law's wife, her brother's house burnt down last winter. Like it was like middle of winter. It's basically a brand new home. It burned down. They were sleeping, and luckily he heard it. He heard something in the garage, and they just ran out with some blankets, and like it was minus Mars, like I always say minus Mars when it's really cold, but it's really cold. And so fire, boom, right? Fire department came right away. They extinguished it. They're able to salvage the house. A lot of damage, but they're actually going to just build it again, just the roof part, because most of the fire came to the roof and obviously some walls, right? But so it matters where you live. It matters how close you are to a fire hall. The insurance companies have an exact map of your address. So they already have that all predetermined, like, oh, you're really far from a fire hall, which means that if your house catches fire, it's probably going to be burnt to the ground, and it's going to cost us more to recoup your house. Okay, and which gives and building out there is costly too, and all of that. So there's a different area. So imagine if when we had look up here for the renting. Right? All of the other areas, like everything was the same. It didn't matter where you lived, right? Now they have chunks added to this table. So that's basically the only difference. It's still always standard comprehensive for each area. And because of that, when you max out, we have different rates. For every column, there's different rates for maxing out. What is the maximum amount for a house? What is your max out amount? 200,000. What was it for renting? 75. You don't really need to remember these numbers because you will always get a table. Always. The province will give you a table. I will give you a table. So just remember 200,000 for a house, 75,000 for an apartment. So, Mr. Dixon, what's different now? Tell me. It's that there's more areas and that the maximum is 200,000. That is basically the only difference. When it's a $200 deductible, watch here, down here, it's still 10% more. Anything on this table is just a $500 deductible. So nothing changes in that sense, okay? So let's dive right in. Make sure you pay attention to this one. I'm going to do one that doesn't go over and one will go over. That's basically full disclosure here. Brent owns a house. That's very important, not renting, in Metro Winnipeg. He wants 175,000 coverage and comprehensive, and a $200 deductible. What's the annual rate before and after tax? Okay, so we want before and after tax. So here we go. Insurance. I will tell you this. Always start like this, and you have to get a number. You have to get a number from the pink table. So maybe just go to the pink table and figure it out from there. Okay? What do you need to come up with a number? Well, you need a coverage amount, which is what, 175? And where do we live again? Metro, right? Metro Winnipeg. So we're down to Metro. And which one is it? Standard or comprehensive? I forgot already. Comprehensive, okay. So just match 175 and you grab that number, 668. I'm like what's the name of Finding Nemo? The other one, the blue fish? Yeah, I always forget, like she forgets everything right away. That's me. 668. 668. No overage, right? So why don't we just write it in though? And then dollar over 1,000, because the formula calls for that, and some students are confused by it, right? There is no overage. And we want that $200 deductible. So because of that, we multiply it by 1.10. It says before and after tax. So this will be necessary at one point. Boom. Now it's exactly the same as tenant insurance. 668 times 1.10 times 1.07. Right? 668 would be a $500 deductible times 1.10 would be a $200 deductible before tax, I should say. And then when you multiply by that, you get it after tax. So here we go. 668 times 1.1 times 1.07. Oh, they want before and after tax. So how do I do it now? I'm going to go divided by 1.07, right? That will undo that part. So 734.80. Make sure you put 80, not just 8. This is before tax. Times 1.07. $786.24. This is after tax. Boom. No overage. I forgot this. Okay, one more. I told you I was going to do 2 examples in less than 20 minutes, right? You didn't believe me. It's not my first rodeo, guys. There we go. Another one. Jill owns a house. That only means I'm going to need to use that ugly table, the big one. Okay. In Pine Falls, within 8 miles of a fire hydrant. So that's actually true, right? Like that's why you go to area 3. Like you actually are put in area 3. She wants, watch this. I wish it wouldn't have like bled into the other one. I have to maybe fix that. $225,000 worth of coverage, standard, $500 deductible. You want it before tax. Those are all important things. So obviously you know it's going to be an insurance question. You must get a number. You have to get a number and then it may be plus. Okay? So watch what I'm going to do here. 225,000. I'm going to go minus 200 right away. Is that okay to do it here? I think it's okay. Right. This is, let's write it down though what this is. Overage, right? So you need to pay extra because the table only gets you to 200,000. So remember, I'm Dory, right? So you gotta help me out here. I'm gonna cover this up. Area 3, standard 500. Okay. So I hope I can fit this in. Yeah. Area 3, go to area 3. Are we standard? Comprehensive? We're standard? Okay, good. We max out, right? So you go way to the bottom. You pay 726 and remember 355 because you're going over. So 726 for sure you're going to pay plus 355 for every additional amount. So I know I need 25,000 extra, and that's going to be 355 over 1,000, not 100. Okay, it's not an interest rate. It's not a percentage. Do we need to go times 1.10? We don't need to. We don't need this. So because it's a $500 deductible, we don't need to multiply it by 1.10. We don't need to add 10% to our premium. It's before taxes, so we cross that out as well. No taxes, so we omit that step. So really it's just this, just clean this up. So 726 plus, what is it? 8875. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it. And then we add that. See, after this, you're gonna become an insurance broker, maybe. Who knows? That's before tax. After tax times 1.07. How about you want a 10%? How about you want a $200 deductible? Just multiply by 1.10. Okay, it's kind of like build your own pizza, right? You do whatever you want, but it's going to cost you more. That is home insurance. Okay, so I'm going to just say now you can do any insurance questions that I throw at you. So remember I said 53 yesterday. I'm going to say now 53. I think I posted the key all the way to 57, 53 to 57. That's a lot, right? I would say this. I know you have bio, whatever, chemistry, physics. You have things, but do a couple so you're comfortable coming in. Because tomorrow I'll just do an AC probably right off the bat. We'll see how time goes. And then I want to do land transfer tax after this. Okay, so insurance we're kind of done like covering it as if it's new. We're still gonna always, I'm gonna throw one at you quite often. So there we go, guys.